Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of Hit the Ropes Radio. It is I, Shane Howard. I'll be joined shortly by my boy, Mr. Wikipedia, Swaggy D himself, Darius Brown. Let's try to log on. Thank you for joining us for another wonderful week of HTR Radio. Big news. Not so much news, but results coming out of WWE Smackdown Live. We'll get to that. Some sad news in the world of professional wrestling. We'll get to that as well. And then there's always the bullying issue that's happening in the WWE. We'll briefly give our 2 cents on that, and then there's a little bit of TNA news. So we've got a little bit from not just WWE, but from other world wrestling entities, if you will. Mr. Darius Brown, what's going on?
Nothing much. Just trying to get this on the wife's computer. Having a little technical difficulties, but I'm in the building.
All right. Well, I was just laying the landscape about what we will be discussing. So let us jump right in. See that we already got a couple people in the chat room. Thank you for joining us. First, there was some sad news in the world of professional wrestling. So just so that we can talk about that and then from there, like, cheer things up. Rosie, formerly of 3 Minute Warning, brother to the one Roman Reigns, Matt. How do you pronounce the last name? I don't know why I'm asking you to pronounce the last name because you usually what's your name?
I think it's Hanoi, but I don't know. I just don't know.
Okay, so Matt Hanoi.
I don't know.
Sika's son, Roman Reigns' brother, Rosie from 3MB. I'm not trying to bring humor here. I just don't want to butcher the man's name, but he passed away, and he was the age 47. Am I correct there?
I believe so.
Yeah, and from the reports, I know he was having heart issues lately. So I don't know if that's the reason why. I'm not sure if the autopsy is completed yet, but that could be the reason for his untimely death. Does Roman take a week off? I mean, he wasn't on Raw. When did Matt die? Was it yesterday or
the 17th? So 2 days ago. Monday, yeah.
So could that be the reason why Roman wasn't at Raw?
Probably. I would imagine so. I mean, there's some people, we've seen in other major sports where there's passing, like how soon between Isaiah Thomas's sister passing, was it the same day or maybe the day before? It was really, really close, and he still played in his playoff game for the Celtics. I know playoffs and maybe that, but people handle it different is the point. So some people will push through, and some they need to take that time.
Were you a fan of 3 Minute Warning?
Yeah, I thought it was okay. I like the concept of, much like the APA, we've got hitmen out there and ready to take care of business at, any beck and call. And then he transitioned to the superhero gimmick, which for the time was, I guess, fitting. And it's a shame that he left the business so quickly, so dramatically. He was gone, and then we really didn't hear from him I know he was at, did a bunch of signings and stuff, did the conventions, but sad news.
I totally blanked on him being a superhero until you reminded me. SHIT, superhero in training.
Yes.
I forgot.
How do you forget that? That's the image everybody's posting. I know Shane Helms, who was his tag team partner in the SHIT gimmick, put out on Twitter how crappy it was to wake up and hear such horrible news. But that's the image they were sharing. There was a couple of 3-minute warning that I saw out there, but a lot of it was a superhero Rosie that I saw.
I don't know why I'm forgetting it, because on my Twitter handle, my Twitter bio, I should say, I say that I'm a teacher at South Harmon Institute of Technology, which is also SHIT. But that is from a movie, not WWF, WWE universe. All right, so, our condolences to the family, Sika's family, and all of those who were really close with Rosie. I know Les Thatcher, former HTR guest, wrote a little post on Facebook how he and Rosie were really close, and he even gave Les's wife away at their wedding. That's how close they were. So, our condolences to all of those who are affected by his passing. But we're gonna now shift gears. There's been talks on the internet. People are making their PR rounds, basically bringing to light what I think we all know exists in the WWE, and as JBL and others in the WWE, and bullying. And people are going to point to the fact that the WWE always has these PSAs where, they're anti-bullying and, be a star and all of this. Yet in their own camp, there's apparently a mountain load of bullying going on. Well, your thoughts here, sir?
Yeah, this is a big deal. I've seen a lot more being made of this issue, being JBL bullying Mauro Ranallo, than I anticipated. I know What Culture, which is a popular blog site that I guess they've turned and started producing shows. I don't really know the relationship and how that goes, but other than that, I know they're really huge, and they make a lot of YouTube videos, and they've posted weekly how they are upset with the fact that JBL still has a job after he has apparently bullied Mauro, who has had a lot of he's spoken out about mental health and how he's been affected over the years, and continues to deal with his mental health issues, and he's apparently been bullied out of the WWE. His contract apparently ends in August, and the rumor is that he will not return. He's been off of WWE TV. He missed WrestleMania, and this is a major concern, seeing how the WWE has not formally addressed it, not to my knowledge. If you've seen it, definitely let me know. But they do have the Be a Star. Shane, they got the Be a Star campaign going, right? And they say, do you know that more than 78,000 people have taken the anti-bullying pledge from all 50 states and 91 countries? Is JBL one of those 78,000?
78,000, that's it?
That's it. That's not a lot, but
That's not a lot,
but out of 200 people that you're on your roster, Are all 200? Probably not. Probably 199, because there's one big bully that has definitely not taken the pledge, and that's JBL. Why is this guy still on TV? They've held other people, like, there's been all kinds of controversy things going on, especially with the ladies going on right now. They're on, okay, I get it, push through, not your fault. This one is your fault. You have to address this. The public is crying out. What is going on, Shane?
Listen, I would not be upset if JBL was no longer on TV. I'm not advocating for somebody losing their job,
but
you know, if they want to have him work as a producer, an agent, I don't know, an advisor, a chauffeur, I don't care. I just don't need JBL on my TV. I don't care for his commentary. I really don't. I honestly only care for, I think the best one they have right now is Corey Graves. And Michael Cole to me is fine. But JBL, nah. If they want to get rid of him off TV, I'm cool with that. They got rid of the King on TV. I'm happy with that. This whole bullying thing, it's like we've known JBL as a bully. We knew him and The Miz when The Miz first got there and all the stuff that he was doing to The Miz and all of that. Some might say that it's hazing. Others are going to look at it as bullying. I don't care for it. And it's just funny now that it's like the WWE is not addressing it in any way. At least I haven't seen anything. But now there's like so many people coming out, and it's like everybody who's doing interviews, they're now having to answer questions about their time in WWE. Like even Jim Cornette, now they want to know, well, how was Triple H? And, you know, what do you think about the bullying stuff that's going on? Or were you bullied? And, you know, you see Coach, even though, you know, he's on ESPN, no longer with the WWE. He had to give his 2 cents. So now everybody is getting some kind of word in or have to talk about it because this thing just keeps coming back up.
Yeah, and you spoke about The Miz, and I just pulled this up. He was asked about his JBL was asked about hazing The Miz. Here's an excerpt. I'm pulling this from Wrestling News World, which said this was a submission back in 2010. This is what JBL said about The Miz. Did I haze The Miz? Yes. A lot of people want to talk about me and my hazing. Yes, I did. I make no apologies about it whatsoever. I mean, come on. I mean, not only is he admitting to it, which, you know, it's not a rumor. It's not this wrestling folklore, but he is proud of it. He said it happened to him. So because it happened to him, then he's got to pass it down and he's got to bully everyone. I mean, the culture has changed. People are no longer going out as much, or it's not as widely publicized about going out and partying. These guys are now turned to playing video games in the locker rooms and all that. The culture has changed, but there's one guy from the Attitude Era who has not changed and is still hanging on to the old ways. Justin Roberts has talked about it. Everybody has talked about it. And the fact that the WWE, I better not see a Be a Star promo on TV while he's still there. I better not see it. Because if I do, I'm gonna freaking punch somebody in the throat. And that will be bullying. So let's go ahead and promote the culture that way if we're going to do it. It's just crazy. It's crazy, Shane. I don't know what's going on with the WWE.
They're not being a star.
They're not.
Pretty much. They're being cowards, because if they were truly a star, somebody higher up would have come out and said something, or there would be some kind of punishment towards JBL, whether it's just a suspension or some sort. There would have been something. So I don't know.
Flyer, a press release, a tweet. I'm looking at the Be a Star program. I'm trying to see how I can forward it on to JBL. He certainly is not aware that this thing exists.
I mean, even when Pepsi put out that ad recently with the protesters and all the backlash they got because of the Kardashian Jenner girl that was in there and all of that, they came out and said something about it. Now there's always a conspiracy theory out there that Pepsi did this on purpose. They knew it was going to get this backlash. They knew it was going to blow up.
Yep.
But they still came out and said something. The WWE is seeing all this stuff come out, and nobody is saying anything.
It's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous, exactly. And it just sucks that, as Hot Dog is mentioning, and he mentioned Joey Styles hitting JBL a couple years ago. It sucks that the only way that you're going to get this guy to get off your back, or for you to prove yourself to this dude, is that you're going to have to like get physical or get in his face and be like, yo, stop. It's not something where he can clearly see on his own. Maybe I shouldn't be trying to get somebody's passport stolen, or hidden so that he can't travel or something like that. I think there are pranks, there are ribs, and then there's just flat out being an asshole.
Yep. And it's a shame he didn't get enough attention as a youth, that he still has to prove himself by being the biggest man on campus. But very ridiculous on his part. You're a grown man, act like one. This is not even high school anymore. And the WWE, for not publicly, maybe they shamed him and did something privately, but because this has escalated, because Morrow, I would assume to some degree the WWE was his dream job. And he missed his opportunity at WrestleMania. He'll never get that back. He obviously has returned back to work. I think he commentated for Risen, MMA promotion in Japan, and so he's healthy enough to return back to work. But obviously, the culture, there's something there that he has not returned back to the WWE since then. So, WWE, they're really dropping the ball. Whoever's their PR firm, I'm sure they have an internal one. They need to step up the game, because this is making them look really stupid.
Yeah, it is big time. All right. Now there is some news in Impact Wrestling land. And I know you have the deets. So tell us what's going on with wrestling.
Well, it's very curious. We've got the new ownership, right? The Owl. Some folks, they got the Owl going, and this Owl group, a group of lawyers and investors, and their role has been coming into companies that are kind of struggling and turning them around, and then maybe even selling them. So they put Jeff Jarrett back in charge, and Jeff Jarrett's thing, we've seen him with his Global Wrestling Federation. He's gone out, and his big thing has been, because he hadn't secured anything TV-wise on his own, it was all about partners. And even when he was in TNA, before he got the boot, partnering, and he's done it again with AAA, and he has now brought AAA, they're about to celebrate, I believe, their 25th anniversary of their company. Impact Wrestling is about to celebrate, believe it or not, their 15th year, and they are now starting to join up where we will see AAA stars in TNA, and maybe their big pay-per-view, and we will see TNA stars with including a major championship defended on a AAA card. So they will they'll be co-promoting, they'll be traveling together. So this is a very unique thing. We don't see this in the WWE, Shane. We see with TNA, they've gotten they're promoting big that they're on Spike, but it's Spike UK. They're down in Mexico. So they're doing a lot of international things where the focus may not be here where they are based out of the U.S. So that's a little bit strange. They're trying to broaden their brand outside of America, or outside of the United States specifically. What do you think about that kind of, how that impacts you as a fan? Is it great because, yeah, we're going to get more exposure, maybe they'll get more money, more sponsorships internationally that we'll be able to turn around, or is this just weird that the focus is everywhere but the America?
I don't see anything wrong with them continuing to expand. I think as they're still the second biggest wrestling promotion in the United States, and that's not going to change. I don't see any reason to think that their position is going to change and they will slip to number 3 or 4 or anything like that. So, and they're not going to get number 1. So I think the only thing they can do is, to continue expanding globally. They're set here. They're basically stuck, and they're not going to move because we've seen their numbers, especially when they were on Spike or wherever. Their numbers, their ratings are always stagnant. When they were on Spike, they were getting like 1.4, on the Nielsen, and there was that running gag that you would see on the internet where they would just keep a weekly tab of their ratings, and they had it as like a GIF, but they were always hovering like around a 1.1 or 1.2. I think it was like a glorious day when they got a 1.4. And now that they're on Pop, they're getting 300,000 or 280,000. And it's right around that mark. They're not going to improve. Their audience in the United States on TV weekly viewing is set. We know that in the UK, they had a much, higher or bigger presence. That some people were saying that they were doing better numbers in the UK than the WWE. So you might as well continue expanding because you see the WWE's doing that. They got that China deal now and everything. So you got to follow suit. You got to expand.
Yeah,
I don't see anything wrong with it. Now, I mean, didn't they have like a deal with one of the Japanese promotions, or like Noah or somebody, because they have the Japanese talents come in and show up on their programs from time to time. They always seem to have some kind of relationship with somebody. How does it actually do to their bottom line, even before the Anthem group comes in? I don't know, because they've always been this private entity, so you never know like their bottom line and all of that. But continue expanding. You're in the business of making money, so you got to globally expand.
Yeah, and we'll see how this actually does. Talent exchange is okay. I don't know if that's going to make them blow up in Mexico, because obviously there's all the promotions down there already established. So, but I mean, it's better than not trying. I mean, what are they losing by doing this deal? But I just hope that their continual efforts, because they're not a large company, they don't have all the resources to, like the WWE, to go out and have people going out and scouting talent in various countries and working on the deals. The country. I mean, the company is not that big. So my only concern is, it's great to go ahead and expand, but do not stretch yourself too thin. So that it's reflecting on the actual product. So that's my only concern. But it's big news. They're doing something. They're trying to make a change.
If they need some scouts, I mean, they can holler at me. I'll go scout people. I mean, as long as they pay, because we know when it comes to Impact and TNA and all that, pay is not always the on time. So
well, yeah, you might want to be a little bit leery. You want to make sure your rent or your mortgage is paid and the car payment is paid before accepting that one, Shane.
Yeah. I mean, it's nice to put on my resume, though.
Sure.
And, fuck that owl. Anyway, fuck that owl. I love the fact, since we're talking about the owl, I do love the fact that on Raw, it's quick, going back to WWE for a second. I love the fact that on Raw, the Hardy Boys match, well, the Jeff Hardy versus Cesaro match, was sponsored by Zyzal. Medication, and the mascot is an owl. I really feel that was so awesome. I don't know if the WWE went out like 2 or 3 weeks ago and said, hey, Zyzal, we want to do a little partnership. You want to work together? Because they now have the Hardys in the fold and the all legal nonsense that's going on with TNA, Impact Wrestling. I really feel that it was just a couple weeks ago, Vince was like, hey, I need somebody to get on the phone with the president of Zyzal, and I just want to be able to put the owl as a sponsor for a Hardy Boys match. Because I don't really recall how many times have we usually seen this match is sponsored by such and such.
I don't recall it since the days of Raw is War. That's the last time I remember it. So if they went out specifically, I wouldn't doubt it.
I just thought that was great.
Hilarious.
Because I free up the Hardys so they have their broken universe. Even if we don't see it in the WWE, even if we do not see it in WWE, free them up so they can make their money with that whole character and that storyline and all of that, wherever they're trying to make their money, whether it's merchandise or what have you. Free them up so they can do what they want to do.
Yeah, hey, that thing's confusing me because Matt, he be in and out of it in his promos, and if that's on purpose, where he's saying, okay, I'm back home, I'm fixed, but maybe there's a little bit of glitches. When if someone's has some drug problems or they have some alcohol problems, they have whatever kind of problems, they still have some dependency. They still have some issues they're fighting. So if he's cured but still fighting his brokenness, waiting, on the back end for that lawsuit to clear, and then he could all of a sudden have a relapse. Okay, cool. But if we're never gonna see this, you gotta stop the accent. It drives me nuts. Either you're in your building or get out.
Well, if you notice his Twitter handle, he keeps switching. He's gone from that he's broken to he's version 1 to Mattitude. He's just switching every so often. He's going back and forth between personalities.
So have you seen Split? Have you seen Split? I
started watching it and I stopped. I had it, I do my thing. I had the movie, I was watching it, and I watched for about half an hour.
You're telling me Matt Hardy's Split?
Yeah, he pretty much could be. I think if we're talking Split, even though he's not doing it with his Twitter handle, I think Jeff Hardy's more Split than Matt, because Jeff got Itchweed, there's Brother Nero, there's Willow, there's Jeff Hardy. Jeff, I think, has more personalities than Matt.
No, I think Jeff just got that Itchweed. I think that's the problem with Jeff. Matt split. Jeff's got that itch weed because he don't always look like he's there and present for some of this stuff. So, but split, good movie. M. Night Shyamalan. So it has his suspect a little bit, kind of like TNA, kind of like watching a TNA show. You never know what you're gonna get. It's good, and all of a sudden it goes to the left. Go ahead and finish it. It's the left is good. The left is good.
Okay. I plan on it. I keep seeing the commercials, and I'm like, I still got it. I'm gonna go watch it. But I hope, because I've seen that the WWE is trying to work something out with TNA for the whole broken mat stuff. So hopefully something comes out of that, and all of this can be settled, and maybe Matt then dives right into the whole broken stuff, because honestly, it's 2017. I don't know why we're still seeing the Hardy Boys acting like they're about to go into a TLC 1 or 2 match. It's 2017. There should be some growth.
Yeah.
It's like they've gone back to the WWE and they've transported back in time. Maybe Vanguard 1 transported them back into 2000, 2001 and those years, because they're acting just like the Hardy Boys, Team Extreme, and all that other stuff.
Yeah, and that would be the perfect explanation as they transition out of it and back to 2017 into their broken state. So I'd be okay with it. I also want to see them join forces with Bray Wyatt, which all of y'all poo-pooed on. I think Bray Wyatt needs a reboot. And I think that would be great. It would be a great pairing. Put those three together, ba-boom! They're taking over like a cult. I've always said Bray Wyatt needs a main event star, not just Eric Rowan, Luke Harper, but you have to have an explanation. Randy Orton just being tossed in because you can't beat him, you got to join him thing. That's all sorts of stupid. This is an example. He can lead them back to their brokenness, their true selves, and I'll be down with that. And we rocking and rolling and tearing up Raw, and that would be a storyline that would be worthy, because Bray Wyatt hasn't got his just due. They would be worthy. Shane, come on now. Come on, Shane.
I don't care. Like, okay.
You gave up on Bray? You've given up?
I honestly don't care for Bray Wyatt anymore. I think it's because of the WWE starting stopping with him, and his character has not moved up. Yeah, he won. He was the WWE champion for a cup of coffee, and I have not continued to embrace Bray Wyatt, because it's the WWE's fault. It really is. Like this. Here's this guy with the supernatural stuff. My nephew was watching it the other day, and he was like, oh, so is this a guy that they're grooming to be the next Undertaker because he does all this supernatural stuff like Undertaker? But and I didn't respond. But I'm like, no, because the Undertaker wasn't losing all these matches when it's the big match time, like Bray Wyatt does. And to me, that has hurt his character, that he always needs to be rebooted.
Yep.
This would just be a reboot, but would you want the Hardys to be under his power? Because I think the Hardys' popularity surpasses his. So why would they be under his power?
Well, that's the thing. That's the problem with his character, because he was supposed to be this leader that was able to kind of, the buzzards and the following. There was not enough following, just buzzards. And then that's the problem. But if he's able to somehow get a hold of the Hardys I think that will prove him as a leader. You know, some people, it's the title. You know, if they just get the title, then maybe they'll get this great run, and then that will solidify them as the place at the top as a main eventer. Well, I think he just needs the right group underneath him, and that would help push him and elevate him to that next level. Eric Rowan, Luke Harper is not going to do that. Weird storyline with Randy Orton's not going to do that. So yeah, he's lost a lot of people because of the stop and start. But I think if it's not a thing where, okay, we're trying to infiltrate Bray Wyatt's power to destroy him from within, and just the fact that we believe in this guy, we need this guy, something has to happen for that to happen. Something, when the Hardys lose their titles and maybe they continue to lose after that, they could seek help to get back. Maybe they had dealt, they're not as good as they thought they were with this new cream. They just got lucky, won the titles, blah, blah, blah. Their leader is here though. Let's go. Take them. And then maybe I'm all for making this a cult. Make this thing big. I love sanity. Bring sanity up as well. Keep it at that. And just have this cult terrorizing the WWE. Just be a horrible, almost NWO without, blowing up and getting massive and out of control. That's my proposal. Make it happen, dang it.
I mean, I'm not going to argue with you. I'm not going to argue with what you're seeing in your visions, because clearly
I have a vision, Shane.
Clearly, you are the second coming of Miss Cleo. Clearly, because it was a couple weeks ago that we were talking about the superstar shakeup, and you mentioned Jinder Mahal and how Jinder was going to, be this star on his new home. And sure enough, what do we have? Jinder Mahal is the number one contender. So I'm not going to argue with what your visions are.
I saw it, Shane. It came to me at night.
Help me out with some lotto numbers, man.
Listen, I don't know where I was. I was in a deep coma because I didn't see it with Jinder. I was like the rest of you regular people, right? So I didn't see it, but then he tweeted, or maybe it was on Instagram. It was social media. It didn't matter where. He talked about what phenomenal shape he's in, how everybody's accusing him of being on steroids because his abs got veins. Shane, do you know another man with veins in their abs? You don't. Don't think about it. You don't. But Jinder Mahal he's got veins in his abs, son. And I was like, whoa, wait a minute. Jinder Mahal's in fabulous shape. Let me check this match out on Raw. You know what? Dude's not bad. He's not horrible. He's got a little bit of aggression. This guy could be somebody. And it just happens now this is the reason that the fellow wrestling nerds are saying WWE is opening a shop up in India. Okay. I mean, they've been in India since, Great Khali. That worked out okay for Great Khali. He's doing his thing.
School there?
Huh?
Don't they have a school there?
Sure. I don't know.
Or come to school, and then they take guys, they scout in India heavily.
They're there. We got our Bollywood boys, formerly of 205 Live. You know what? Jinder Mahal's about to be a beast. Let's bring up these young cats. Let's put them underneath. Let's throw them in. Now, Shane, people hated it. Absolutely hated it. Why? Because Jinder Mahal hasn't won a match on SmackDown since 2002, I think it was. 2012, I think. 2012. So all of a sudden he's world champion. But Shane, if we
he's not world champion. He's not world champion.
I'm sorry. Was that a Freudian slip? Was that a Freudian slip? My bad. I said he was world champion. He's not world champion yet. My bad. Okay, number one contender. He's the number one contender. Okay, you got me. But Shane, if we're not trying to be world champion, why are we in the game? If we're not trying, if we don't think we can be the champ, why do we lace up the boots, my friend? Shane, all right, I got more, but let me ask you. I got a lot more. On my man Jinder Mahal, the future world champion of SmackDown, because 32 times Randy Orton isn't doing it for me. Whose cup of tea is Randy Orton? He's just the old G. That's all he is. He sells a lot of T-shirts. I know he bangs his fist on the ground. My brother is a fan. He likes the RK out of nowhere, but hey, maybe Band Card 1 has placed all of us back in 2002, not just the Hardys, because that's where I left off with Randy Orton. But let me ask you, are you a believer in Jinder Mahal?
Listen, I'm going to state my claim because I might not live past today because Mr. Demetrius Stokes plans on giving us, a holy sermon because we're talking about Jinder tonight. But I'm going to say that last night when I was watching SmackDown, I stated complimentary things about Jinder getting this title shot. I was very complimentary of it. SmackDown has stated, for months since Shane and Daniel Bryan have been running the show that it is the land of opportunity. We have to see some new faces. People keep crying over the part-timers and all this other stuff. And they want to see some new faces because eventually we just saw The Undertaker hang it up. They brought in Goldberg. He, if his contract is up, okay. If not, how many times are you going to see him on a yearly basis? Maybe 4 or 5 times. Brock Lesnar, he's champion. He's not there every week. So we got to make some new stars. And people are like, well, yeah, SmackDown has AJ Styles, there's Nakamura, there's Randy Orton, there's Luke Harper, and all of that. But okay, we still got to get new people. Because if you see AJ and Randy today, and then you see AJ and Randy next month, and then you see AJ and Randy 3 months from now, you're gonna be like, oh my God, we're tired of this feud. Because we always say after two months of the same two guys fighting, we're tired of this feud. So you got to inject some different people in there so that you can space out for these big matches. It's not like SmackDown has a pay-per-view coming up. It's Raw that has a pay-per-view coming up. So why not have Jinder have a title shot on a future SmackDown Live episode? Why not have Jinder have his shot at leading a stable of Indian guys? Racially, I don't know if it's like, the best look that, yeah, we're just going to have all these Indians coming together. But, I mean, I guess they have a common interest in the fact that they're Indian and they feel like their people don't get a fair shake. But Jinder's been around for a while. And like you said, he has some pretty good matches when he's given time. We just tend to see him in a lot of enhancement matches. So, and he's got a good look. People are going to point at the steroids, which we don't have any actual facts on.
Daniel.
So people are going to point to that. But for everybody else who is not on the internet Googling and checking the sheets on a daily basis or have alerts coming to their phone, they look at Jinder and his stature and they're like, damn, that dude is jacked. Yo, he have a chance. They look at people like that, and yes, it's wrestling, but I'm sorry. When you see somebody of a certain stature, you're going to be tuned in because you know something's gonna happen. Like if they fight somebody, you're like, oh my god, I'm gonna watch this match because he might kill this person. It's like if I'm watching Big Show versus Rey Mysterio, I'm like, yo, at some point this big guy is gonna eat this little midget. You know, little midget's redundant, but this big dude is going to eat this guy because he's so much bigger, or he's gonna knock him the heck out or throw him into the fifth row. You're looking for something like that because there's no way this big guy should lose. And then when the big guy loses, you're like, oh my God, this little dude found this way to, you know, this whole David Goliath story. The stature is fine by me. I'm cool with it. I'm cool with Jinder getting a title shot. I'm cool with Jinder leading a stable. Because the guy had to endure 3MB for what, 2 years or whatever? Mm-hmm. Let him have his little time to shine. I do have a problem with what happened on Tuesday night, but I'm going to let you have your thoughts, and then I'm going to tell you the only problem I had with Hinder on Tuesday.
Okay. There's some pluses and there's some minuses here with this gender equality that we got going on here finally. The first thing is in this. We go back to wrestling when folks were kind of iffy. We thought it was fake, but maybe it's real, and maybe this guy can beat that guy. And there was unpredictability in wrestling at some point. The fact that any man walks into a ring and should be able to have a chance, that is a good thing. We should be able to see more upsets like this. We should be able to see Jinder Mahal come into a six-pack challenge. This isn't one-on-one. Maybe he can get the best of the situation and win. And it's at any given time, it's any person's night. That's real. We see that in mixed martial arts where there's huge favorites. We see that in boxing, huge favorites. And that favorite goes down because anything can happen at any given time in a real fight. Wrestling, although not real, is supposed to simulate reality. In that respect, it's got to happen. So I like that. The things that I don't like is, one, the WWE screwed up yet again with the pinning being on Sami Zayn. Did they not learn from the Royal Rumble when we all expected Daniel Bryan possibly being number 30, and it turned out to be, was it Batista at that time? You cannot have the guy that all the fans want to win and then have this guy who comes out of nowhere to upset that person without being backlash. Yes, there's heat, but then there's just pure frustration because something going on with Sami is greater than what could be going on with Jinder. So I thought that was a huge, huge mistake. And the heat is not the correct kind of heat. It's that X-Pac kind of heat that we talk about on the internet. It's just all wrong. So that's their big mistake, Shane. But they also got me a little confused with this. I don't know if he was freelancing the idea of this American Dream. I don't know if you saw, he cut a promo, whether it was in the ring or I've only read the excerpts, so I don't remember where it came from, but he said something about the real American Dream or the new American Dream, something about the American Dream, which we got Kevin Owens and he's doing his Face of America thing. Then we got Jinder Mahal, who is actually Canadian, representing the Indian culture.
Is he really?
Yes, he is from Canada. And he is, okay, I get it. He lives here, maybe, I guess. I don't know. But there's too many nationalities for me to keep up with. I'm confused. I confuse easily. I admit it. Stop it. And plus, American Dream, we're thinking Dusty Rhodes. You can't, I mean, again, bad heat, wrong heat. Let's not go there. You're the new American Dream. All right, so kill that right now. And let's focus back on, Bollywood and being the group. And if you want to get super stereotypical with the races and stuff, I think Aziz Ansari is a wrestling fan. He came in, I think, hosted. Let's go ahead and throw him as the mouthpiece of this bad boy and just get this super hated and over for real. So let's go ahead and just add him. What's he doing? I know he's got to promote his new Netflix show. Let's go ahead and we're gonna do the stereotype thing. We're gonna mess with the races. Let's go ahead and blow this thing up and just add one more Indian there. And if you've seen Aziz's show, let's make him do an accent. Let's make him do an Indian accent. You have to watch the show to get that joke. But let's go ahead and do that too. Let's ramp this thing up. There's a lot to digest there.
I don't have a problem with Sammy taking the pin. I don't have a problem with Sammy taking the pin. Sammy finds a way to bounce back. You know, Sammy is probably the muse for Big Sean's top hit right now. You know, Sammy always bounces back. He's gonna keep bouncing back.
Right.
He's a lovable loser right now. I don't think him taking the pin.
That doesn't hurt Sammy, but that hurts Jinder, though.
I forgot Sammy even took the damn pin.
Ask HKD. It's on the net, man. They hate you.
I just know that Jinder won. I know Jinder won. I know I was shocked. And I know I'm also like, let me see where this goes. My one problem with Jinder winning was then Randy Orton comes out. And Jinder is standing in the ring. And Randy walks in the ring. Randy's not even at the top of the entrance ramp. No, Randy comes in the ring, stands next to Jinder, and basically no-sells Jinder as his opponent. And yeah, Jinder 3 weeks ago was an enhancement wrestler on Raw. And then he Colcocks Finn Balor, concusses him.
He's got power.
And he now moves to SmackDown, and now he's getting a number one title shot. But Randy Orton no-sells this dude as his opponent. And Randy starts talking about this other dude who he has a match with coming up. And Jinder stands there the whole dang time that Randy is talking about his other challenger, saying, screw you, you're not worth my time right now. I'm going to talk about Bray Wyatt, who's no longer on the damn brand. I'm going to talk about this dude. Now they're in a match that's not even for the world title. It's just a House of Horrors match.
Oh, the title's not even online?
Apparently, there is now a change where the title's not online. That's another issue to talk about. But Jinder just stands there. Like, you're the heel. You should have attacked this dude and be like, yo, stop worrying about him. You're standing in this ring with me right now. Or the Bollywood boy should have jumped in there or something. You just stand there as the heel and just be ignored when you just won a match against 5 other dudes? Come on, son.
Yeah, that's a great point. I mean, I'm okay with Randy Orton setting both up, talking smack on Bray, talking smack on Jinder. Even if he said, Jinder, you shut up, you sit there, you're a scrub. I'm gonna go ahead and talk here. Okay, you address that, you plant a seed. But yeah, you can't just let this man go ahead and just disrespect you like that. That's all the more reason to lay a boot in him. But if the payoff is to tick fans off even more and put the strap on the champ, the true champ, Jinder Mahal, I'm all right with that. But yeah, we're in a weird. This is the problem with the brand shakeup. Is we got unfinished business. They're trying to weave in the new business, and as you pointed out clearly, they haven't found a way to effectively do so. So, yeah, Jinder Mahal, he's got to step up his game, man. You can't let a man overlook you like that, especially when you knocking people out, concussing people on Raw, man. You gotta throw that elbow on to Randy and be like, hold up now, I'm still here. Give me my title, son. But we'll see, I guess.
Well, apparently there's a WWE.com article, and there's no mention of the title being defended. So, and it's being emphasized that they're on two different brands.
Oh Lord!
A big deal about Kevin Owens and Chris Jericho. Yeah. That if Jericho wins, he comes to SmackDown. There's been no talk about if Bray wins, he comes back to SmackDown. So one would think that the title is not on the line, which, I guess is the way the WWE can then say, well, the winner is still a toss-up, because people are saying, well, we already know that Randy's going to win since he's on SmackDown, and the title is not going to go to Raw. So I guess with now no title being on the line, it's like, okay, maybe Bray has a chance.
But here's the thing. Why can't Bray win the title and keep it on Raw? Raw ain't got no world title.
They got a Universal title.
Who? I know. I watched Raw. I watched Raw on Monday. I didn't see no champion. Who? Who they champ? I don't know. They got a champ? Are we sure? I don't believe so. So, come on, man. Why can't they have two champs?
They have a champ, and it's funny. The champ that's on Raw is a guy that we have seen busted for steroids or illegal substances, but everybody want to get on Jinder.
Yeah, Jinder ain't been busted. He's clean as far as the records show. So I mean, let's go ahead and have that. But why can't they? They should have the title on the line, and the stipulation be, okay, if Bray wins, then he will be the new champion, and that will make him the. Since we cannot have two champions on one brand, then we will automatically put him in a title match with the current champion, and then the belt will end up being forfeited, and he'll relinquish it. But that will set up a storyline for Bray, and if he loses, and Brandy still wins the champion, okay, we carry on. Bray's okay. We don't have to actually throw him in with Brock Lesnar, which people would love to see. So, I mean, why do you have to just go ahead and make this a non-title match? I mean, it's just all weird, sticky situation, and that is the problem with this shakeup. Because Shane, I still don't even know why people were moved. Did they get in and did the GMs go in and say, okay, give me this guy for that guy? It was not explained. It's a I'm confused, Shane. They just all of a sudden appeared one day. What the frick's going on?
I really thought the WWE was gonna do good by us because we talked about this. I really thought they were gonna. Okay, they didn't do it Monday night, maybe because they didn't want to spoil any moves for Tuesday. But I really thought that by Wednesday afternoon we would see something on WWE.com to tell us, all the trade details. A WWE.com exclusive or a WWE Network exclusive of, them in the war room, Shane and Stephanie and Daniel and Kurt Angle or whoever, where they're saying, okay, what about, they got a board behind them. Okay, we'll give you these two for this one and a future, first round pick, something like that. I really thought we were going to see something like that.
Something. You know what the problem is? I learned this. There's a plug for Bruce Pritchard's show. Excellent show where I've said it on here before, where they break down pay-per-views that happen in past or careers, moments in careers. So Bruce Pritchard, obviously being on the inside, he knows what's going down. And the question I think of this week was, who was supposed to be behind the limo blowing up? Vince McMahon blowing up the limo. What was supposed to go down there? And the reason why I bring this in, because he goes, you know what? That's a great question. We didn't know. We had no idea who was going to be responsible. We just knew we had to get Vince off of television. This was the explanation was, if he's dead, he can't be on TV. So we blew him the frick up. Okay, so this is the WWE logic. Y'all, everybody craps on TNA. They crap on WCW for their last second booking. This is your great WWE booking, okay? They're blowing people up and don't have a reason why they've been blown up. So, thus, when we see a shakeup and people are moved all around, they have no clue or no explanation why. Their reasoning is they'll just figure it out later. And in a lot of cases that we've seen, like I think remember when back in the Attitude Era, they had like security, all of a sudden footage of different things happening all around and black and white footage with security cameras. I don't think we ever got an explanation. This happens a lot. They just do things and either hope fans will forget about it or hope that they'll magically come up with something to explain it in the future. And we're never going to know, Shane. Just like the Raw GM. The mystery GM. Who the frick was that? I don't know.
Well, all I know is that everybody needs to chill the heck out, and ain't nobody here trying to hinder Jinder. Let Jinder get his time. Let Jinder run his stable, because Jinder is probably going to be in the title picture for 1, maybe 2 months, and then I think he's going to be established as a mid-card act, and then they'll just slide somebody else up in there. Maybe Luke Harper will be the next one to come up, because eventually, with AJ going for the U.S. title, eventually we're going to see one of the bigger names on SmackDown start going back to trying to get the WWE title. I mean, it's April. We've got, 4 months until the biggest party of the summer, SummerSlam. So, before then, we're going to start seeing somebody who the crowd feels is worthy enough start emerging to go for the WWE title. But until then, why not let some of these new faces try their hand? We like parity. People complain all the time when they see like the Patriots in the Super Bowl or a LeBron James team in the NBA Finals. We want parity. So here we got parity. Stop bitching.
So you saying we're gonna see AJ Styles versus Jinder Mahal at SummerSlam? That's what you're saying? That's what you're saying, Jade? I'm ready. Let's go. Sign me up. WWE Network $9.99. Let's go.
I didn't say we were going to see that at SummerSlam. I did not say that, sir.
I think that's what you were saying. You said he's coming up. He's not going to win the U.S. title. He's going to go back up, fight Jinder Mahal, lose, and Jinder Mahal will reign supreme.
Man, could you imagine the outcry? Jinder pulls a Sheamus, as we were talking about earlier. If Jinder pulls a Sheamus and somehow gets the world title on like a fluke kind of thing, could you imagine the public outcry?
I dig it. Hey, they're copying everything they did from back in the day. We seen the on Raw where they redid the falling of the canvas, the ring exploding. Let's go ahead and let's bring Sheamus's table swap and accidentally have Randy Orton on the top rope, slips and falls through the table. Jinder's the new champ. Let's do that one over again. It would be amazing. Amazing. Let's do it. Shane, you signed it. I co-sign it. Let's go ahead and make Jinder Mahal the champ. Gender equality. I'm all for it.
Gender equality. Yes, gender equality, ladies and gentlemen. I like that. Maybe I should have probably put that as the title of the show instead of "You Can't Hinder Gender." I like gender equality.
Hashtag gender equality, sir.
Yes, let's get that trending.
Get it trending, people. Oh man, you see, Mac, I'm flipping with no transition, but Matt is all. I mean, Mac is all about this Braun Strowman. I was champion, just like I'm championing Jinder Mahal right now. I was champion Braun Strowman, and he's doing big things, even though he couldn't lift for some reason. The Big Show. He's doing big things on Raw.
The Big Show was moving. The ambulance wasn't moving.
The ambulance weighs 3 times more than the Big Show.
The Big Show was wiggling and all that stuff. It's a lot harder. It's a lot harder.
WWE. The silly things that they do that we love.
I am all for Braun taking all the golds, all the straps, women title included. Braun is all powerful, all glorious. Let Braun win everything.
Everything.
Except for Jinder's title.
Yeah.
He can't win Jinder.
He obviously can't. Braun, as big as he is, as strong as he is, he's pulled the strap down. I haven't seen no veins on his abs, so I haven't seen it. So he needs to back on up for Jinder have to smack him on down.
Demetrius is going to hate the heck out of this when he listens. But yes. Gender equality, ladies and gentlemen.
Hashtag.
Anything else that you want to get in, sir, before we close out tonight's episode?
Absolutely not, except make sure you tune in and subscribe on YouTube. Very important. We appreciate you listening each and every week. But make sure you subscribe on YouTube and Instagram. Instagram is a big one. Even if you're download or listening to your podcast elsewhere or right here on YouTube, please make sure you go on to Instagram. I'm sorry. I'm looking at Instagram. I meant iTunes. Make sure you do that and subscribe. And then a big pops and props out to JV Lewis 77, always showing us love, retweeting the show anytime it pops up on Stitcher. So follow my boy JV Lewis 77 on Twitter. And then we got our people in the chat room. Daniel Price is there. Hot Dog Cobb HD 388 is there, and our boy, of course, Courtney is there. So anytime it's Wednesday night, 9 p.m., the chat room is where it's at. Those guys are always popping.
For real. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to bid you adieu and see you next week. In the meantime, get on Twitter, #GenderEquality. Do that. We're out. Peace and hair grease. Hit the Ropes Radio.